The representation of Black women, particularly in the IT industry, matters because I believe it's one way that will change the narrative, right? So right now, when we look and we talk about innovation, we talk about people changing the world, it tends to be an image of a white male, right? And you have young Black girls, either in primary school or in secondary school, looking at social media, looking at the media at large, and seeing this and not seeing a representation of themselves. That doesn't necessarily influence them to pursue a career in this kind of industry. And because of that, I believe we're losing out on major talent, right? We're losing out on talent because women don't feel represented in these fields enough. So if we were to change the platform, if we were to change the narrative, I believe we would be able to attract a lot more young talent in this space, and it could lead to people, and particularly young women, solving major problems. When we talk about how we get more women into the workforce, I think I'm going to be slightly blunt in saying that it starts with a conversation around pay, right? We've seen, and this is something that is known, that women generally get paid less than men for the exact same work. So I think that conversation is something that needs to be had, and something that corporates need to be held accountable to, right? You're not going to attract talent if people feel unappreciated in that space. So it starts with the conversation around pay. It starts with the conversation around how do we make these environments safer for women, right? Creating safe space that women can not only thrive, but also feel like they are part of a community, feel like they are a part of the table. I think secondly would also be ensuring that there is a plan in place for creating decision makers, allowing women to become decision makers, right? Right now we live in a culture of tokenism where the highlight and spotlight of women is placed only in the month of August because it's Women's Month, and then everybody goes back to normal, but nobody really gives women power. So I think if we had women in more decision-making positions, we would have more women in the work field. If I look at how we have transformed our Junior Pioneers programs in these rural communities, none of them would have happened without the volunteers that we have on the ground. 95% of whom are women, right? And these are women who, before our programs came in, had never touched a computer before, didn't know what computer literacy was. And after 8 weeks of training, you see them transform and become these gladiators of, digital skills training. So I have seen firsthand what it's like to put these kind of digital tools in the hands of rural women and see them run with it, right? Because these people are so motivated to want to see change happen in their communities, but motivated even further to become the change agents. So I've definitely seen this firsthand. Boxfusion, they're not a company or corporate to me. They're definitely family, because I think coming from an unknown background, having only met me once and allowed me to pitch my crazy ideas in terms of how we transform digital education in rural communities, that for me is something I haven't seen, right? So I appreciate companies like Boxfusion that take an innovative approach to providing support. It's not just giving money, right? It's how do we support you outside of the financial? Is it aligning you with a mentor? So Ian has been a great mentor to me in terms of how I run my business, ensuring that we keep the sustainability, and to have a company that supports you as a young Black woman, not only by way of words, but with action as well. I think that's a great thing. I have a message for corporate companies, and again, I'll be a little bit controversial. I think, particularly because it is Women's Month, and we're all about elevating and putting a spotlight on women. The one thing that I would like to say is, Happy Women's Day, but give us equal pay.